Hey everyone, this is David Cuesta here, hosting for the Sports Opinions podcast today. I just want to give you a quick rundown of what me and my guest Robert Planter did for today. We talked about the NFL. We talked about the New York Jets, the absolute disgrace they were on Monday night. We talked about NFL trades and what the implications of these trades might mean. Then we talked about an Odell getting fined for the pants that he was wearing. You'll hear about it. And then we talked about the state of New York basketball and our favorites and sleepers in the NBA this season. Enjoy the show. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sports Opinions Podcast. On this edition, if you haven't noticed already, it's going to be me, David Cuesta, hosting. Unfortunately, my brother Alex Cuesta is off on vacation right now. If you listen to Cuesta Dos, you already know about this. Tonight, I'm going to have Robert Planter. He's co-host of the Playbook under the Sports Opinions umbrella. Rob, say hi to everyone.
What's up? What's up?
Tonight, we're not going to be doing a sort of interview fashion that my brother always does. Tonight, we're going to be doing more of a Cuesta Dos Playbook kind of thing where we're just shooting back and forth, having a conversation on these topics. Tonight, we're going to start off with the New York Jets. Rob and I are both Jets fans. And Rob, I know you watched the game. I don't know if you finished it. I wasn't able to, fortunately, because I had to get up very early. So,
yeah.
Rob, what went wrong, and what are the future expectations to this team? Hopefully, good ones. But what are you thinking?
So, me and Joe kind of talked about this a lot, and honestly, let's just go back a little bit, Dave. Let's go back a little bit. Like, I know you said co-host of the Playbook. Yeah, Joe's cool and all, but like, let's get this. This is my show. The Playbook is my show, and this week, me and Joe got at it, went at it a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's my show. It's my show. I run the Playbook. Anyway, not important. What is important? After Joe was trying to tell me that the Jets defense didn't play decently, I'm gonna have to fly solo next show, David. I'm not gonna lie to you, David. But no, David, the Jets. The problem. I'll tell you what the problem was. We had a situation where Bill Belichick came in. He did a lot of what Philly did to us. He ran zero blitz. David, I listen to The Fan every day, ESPN radio every day, and on my way to school, and I literally hear them. They talk about zero blitz, zero blitz, zero blitz. If you got guys in your secondary who can cover receivers and you can just bring 6 and 7 guys, you have that's going to work. That's literally going to work against a young offense, against a young quarterback. And the problem that we really had is that the fact that Gase never changed anything. And I know he's heard it a million times this week from everybody. If I was him, I wouldn't even listen to, he probably doesn't listen to the radio after he has to do his shows on Monday with, on ESPN radio or whatever. Yeah. But it's just, you can't continue to put your guy back there with, nobody. I mean, it's empty. He's running, he'll have a tight end out there. And so there's a tight end 5 lineman, and then just Sam, and then the motion Lev out. And the problem is, even 5-yard outs or even short routes weren't open because they were getting there that fast. I mean, he had Kyle Van Noy in his face immediately. It was just, Dante Hightower was there. Same, these guys are just getting after it. And I mean, it plays where he did have a little bit of time. Stephen Gilmore, Robbie Anderson ran a little post route, and Stephen Gilmore absolutely locked it up. It's just when you have that kind of pressure in your face with zero blitzes in the NFL, it's just gonna be hard to do anything. And I think what went wrong is nothing really changed. I think Gase kind of took it as disrespectful. We're gonna run our offense regardless. But when you have an experienced defense that's as good as this Patriots defense is against our inexperienced, hurt young offense, you're gonna have to do something different. And that was what was wrong, David. That is it.
Yeah. Yeah, it really showed what Bill Belichick can do as a defensive mastermind. He knew exactly what we were going to do. He came at us and he dared us to change, and we didn't. And I mean, you said even with the short out routes that were open, those short out routes, that's still a long way to throw. And if you don't have the right zip on the ball and he's throwing off his back foot like he did all night, those are going to turn into picks, and most likely a pick 6. So it was a really tough night. Gase was completely outcoached. We were completely outclassed the whole night. I'm hoping that in the future we can learn from all of this. That's the best thing, is that we can learn.
True.
I like your idea that I saw before, that Sam come wearing a Ghostbusters shirt and then throwing.
Yeah, see,
that would be amazing.
So what I'm thinking, David, is So this week, you got to put it in the past. Like you said, we're on like I remember they played this clip of Belichick when he's like, "Oh, we're on to Cincinnati" or something. Yeah. Like he refused to answer a question. He was just talking about the next game. So what we're worried about now is Jacksonville. And actually, David, there was a chance that I was going to go to this game because my birthday is tomorrow actually. So I was thinking about going this weekend, but we're thinking about flying down because my girlfriend her dad's a pilot, so he's able to fly cheaper and everything. So we're thinking about doing it.
That's always nice.
But we decided against it. I was just kind of like, I don't know. I didn't even know Sam was going to be back at the time we were making the plan. So I was like, I'm not going down there to see this team. Like, I was just so discouraged. But I think if I had to make that decision right now, I would go because Sam's going to be out there. He's going to have the Ghostbusters T-shirt on. We got to get it going, man. Like the Ghostbusters thing and then a 400 or 500-yard performance. It's not out of the question. It's not out of the question.
Now, that would be invigorating to see as a Jets fan. If that happened, oh man, I'd feel great. I'd feel absolutely great. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen. I think
400 or 500.
Yeah, I think we can beat the Jags, but I think we're going to need to be able to buckle down and learn a lot from this. And I mean, Gase seems even keeled enough. You also got to think really the Cowboys and this week, our blowout week, were the first two times we really saw this whole team together and mostly healthy. Like, other than that, this whole entire time we've really been injured. So, and everyone's trying to still get into these schemes. I mean, Greg Williams has his own schemes on defense. Gase has his own stuff he's running on offense. And when you have players injured, not everyone can get acclimated to these things quickly because you're not getting these reps in practice all the time. So hopefully we learn a lot from this and we're able to input everything that we need to in order to be a successful football team.
Yep. And I think just adding to that, every team deals with injuries. So I think that's something that, but the thing is when you're a team in a situation like ours, we have no depth in our secondary. We have no depth on our offensive line. I mean, there's guys who are playing well, but there's no reason why we should have two rookies. We have two rookies on our offensive line and we're relying on them to play good. And, it's hit or miss, but the bottom line is if you get out schemed, you're going to get out schemed. There's nothing you can do about that, and there's some, it's a little bit of bad news, David. We didn't talk about it before, but Mosley, I think, is done for the season, bro. I think they're saying he might have.
I saw he was out. Is he actually?
What they said is that at first we just thought he aggravated his groin, but Chris Canty was saying on the Fan this morning, he was talking about how it's probably a sports hernia, and a sports hernia, and you have to get, you got to get surgery, and you're not going to be. It's not, he's done if it's that. So they're saying they think that's what it is because if it's more serious than a groin, but they can't point to it being exactly a groin injury, then that's probably what it is. And if that's the case, then not good. Not
good. Boy, we're going to be seeing a lot of Blake Cashman.
Yeah.
He's been doing well for what he's been thrown into, but I mean that really sucks, man. He was our big off-season one of our big off-season acquisitions, and then he's going to be gone. So.
And it's not. And I mean, again, you if you play rookies, typically that's not. I mean, you get your Darius Leonard, you get a Luke Kuechly kind of situation, but Cashman's not that guy. He's good.
He's not.
But he could turn into a very. I see him like maybe like a Kiko, maybe Alonzo kind of guy where he's going to be very solid, like a solid starter, but he'll never be a superstar caliber middle linebacker. I don't think so. I don't see it now. And I just don't think he has the speed in this NFL to be a 4-4, to be a 3-4 inside linebacker that's going to be able to make plays. Like like Devin Bush, you see him being a guy who could be that dynamic kind of player. Cashman, very good football player, but he's not going to be that, he's not that 3-4 inside linebacker that's going to be a superstar in this NFL. 10 years ago, Cashman probably is going to be, he could be a top 10 inside backer.
That's
but
just they said with Danny Woodhead 10 years ago. He's probably one of the greatest running backs we've seen but now with his size and everything, when he was playing, but with his size and everything, he couldn't do what they could do now.
Yeah. Yep.
So I mean. Hopefully for the future, the Jets can maybe string some wins. I mean, we have a much easier schedule coming up, which is good for us. Maybe we can get into some sort of rhythm, feel good about ourselves, and maybe get some more wins. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I really hope that the clamoring for firing Gase doesn't get too high because, New York fans and New York media always jump on everything. They really hate long-term success. Or trying for anything long term.
people don't realize is like firing your coach is not going to help. Like, that's not – there's times where, yes, a guy needs to go. He's had some time, but, like, come on, fire Gates, I guess, his first year. Like, you got to give the guy a chance, man. I mean, look at all – no Avery. CJ's playing hurt this past week, you know. I mean, he didn't even have a chance to fix the offensive line. Like, it's just not – there's just so many things that are just wrong with that. He hasn't had a chance with, like – it's not even his – you know, he didn't get to buy his groceries. There's just guys here, you know.
Yeah, so, exactly.
You got to give him a shot, and I mean, he showed flashes that he can be a good coach, a solid coach. But the whole firing him. I mean, look at teams that are successful; they don't fire their coaches too often. Like, that's not exactly. How it works.
And I mean, we're not asking for like a Marvin Lewis here. We're not asking for the Cincinnati situation where the guy cannot win you a postseason game when he gets there, and you just keep him along for a decade. We're not asking for that. We're asking just give the guy a chance. I mean, every other coach we've had, basically starting from like the Rex Ryan era, they've started off usually with a good season, and then afterwards it went downhill.
Yep.
And now we're starting off with a bad season. Maybe we'll see our luck change and it goes uphill from here. So you never know. I think you at least need to give the guy like 2-3 years, unless it's just blowout after blowout after blowout. Then I understand. But you have to give the guy like 2-3 years, especially because we put Joe Douglas in after all the offseason stuff was done with McCagnon.
He was hired and like
it was Chris Johnson's really weird of an owner. I think
I
don't understand what he's thinking.
But
hopefully things can turn out better for the Jets in the future. I mean, honestly, as Jets fans, it can only go up. It can only go up.
It's only gonna get. And the thing is we have a solid roster. There's no question about that. And we're going to be competitive. There's no reason why we shouldn't win 8 to 10 games this year. There's no reason why we shouldn't. The schedule is going to turn for the better for us. We got a lot of competitive games coming up. A lot of good football left in the second half of the season for us. So we'll be all right. We'll be fine.
Yeah, I think we'll be all right too. But on to more about the NFL. And Rob, you have some stuff for me. Let me hear it.
Yeah, so basically, David, we're going to talk some of these trades, really just 3 trades, and just I guess we can talk about how we think they're going to affect these teams and everything. And I think the biggest one, and let's save that one last. Let's go with the one we were talking about before, the Quandre Diggs for a 5th rounder to the Seahawks. And I think what was interesting about this one was Slay, Diggs' teammate, Darius Slay for the Diggs' former teammate on the Lions, was extremely upset about this. There was explicit language used on social media, and he was not a happy camper about the fact that, it's hard to find guys who can cover people in the NFL. I mean, I was just talking about the zero blitz. If you can run man coverage and have guys who can cover, that makes a huge difference. Like, there's nothing that can be, that's why corners are so valuable, because good luck with these rules in this NFL and how athletic receivers are, finding someone who can play the hardest individual position in football and, replacing them. So I don't understand that. I'm right with Slay in this one. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't get that trade. I honestly, what that trade is signaling to me is that the Lions believe that they're not making the playoffs. They firmly believe they're not making the playoffs. They firmly believe that this is just not their year, even though they really don't look like a bad team. But they're giving it to a team that 100% looks like it's making the playoffs, and it's helping their defense tremendously in the Seahawks. So it's a signal from the Lions saying, listen, we're going to still be playing, but we're looking towards the future, not this season.
Yeah, and I think another thing it just kind of says is, there's a possibility that there was other stuff going on, too, that we don't know, because there's always like that. Maybe he had a disagreement with, like, the secondary coach or something. You never know. But, the Lions, they're competitive, but it just doesn't make sense to me. That literally makes no sense to me. I am right with Jerry Slay on that one, so.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. Then the next trade that we're going to go over. Why am I drawing a blank, David? I'm only remembering the Sanders trade.
You're going over. You don't remember the Sanders trade? You don't remember the Mohamed Sanu trade?
Oh, yeah.
The Mohamed Sanu trade to the Patriots?
So look, another interesting situation we got here. So the Patriots trade for Mohamed Sanu. They trade get him from the Falcons. They trade a 2nd-round pick for him. Now, this is also interesting. This is crazy. So Josh Gordon was warming up, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if he warmed up with the Jets.
I don't think he warmed up, but I may be wrong.
I looked at his Instagram and it said he had like hashtag Monday Night Football and he had like a picture of him like on a field, but it could have been from a while ago. Yeah. Either way, they placed him on the IR after this trade,
Yeah.
and then he comments on the NFL
Interesting. I
post,
saw that.
and he says it with like an emoji and like David, that is very strange, and I don't get that. That kind of we're gonna see. It's gonna be interesting, but apparently they think he's gonna ask for a release because he wants to play football. Obviously, he thought he was gonna return soon, and they put him on the IR.
So something definitely happened. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it really doesn't make the Patriots look good. I don't think anyone else is gonna say this because everyone is on the Patriots. They love them so much, but it doesn't make them look good at all to place Josh. Yeah, I mean, you looked really nice giving Josh Gordon so many chances. Now you place the guy on the IR. Go get Mohamed Sanu, and now he's not playing. He's not playing for you now. He's gone. That's it. So you don't look good when that happens. But I mean, who am I to say that? I'm only a Jets fan. So, but
and I think the biggest thing with like the Patriots is it just kind of speaks to their narrative of, honestly, I don't think Belichick, like, he doesn't want these receivers can play. I mean, and that's the thing. Belichick, he'll take whoever. They're the best. It's a scheme thing. It's not, it's not about the player.
It's not talent. It is not talent. You put most of these players on other teams and they're not starting, and they make the 53-man roster, and that's about it.
Yeah, they're not going to be difference makers, but when they're on the Patriots and you got Brady, it just works. It's just something that they can make work. And I think their biggest thing is, as long as they have that one Sanu, and it doesn't have to be a number one receiver. It can be a really good number two receiver. But if you have that, that Antonio, like, obviously Antonio Brown's not that, but like Sanu and Josh Gordon, these guys who are very good, and like they're kind of that like one-ish kind of two, like a 1.5 receiver. They're kind of between a number one and number two. That's all he needs. That's all Belichick needs in his offense. He's like, as long as you got that one guy who you can kind of, a team has to account for, then everything else is going to open up. So I think it's more of this is a chess piece more thing. Like, he's not looking at a specific guy. He's looking at more of like, he's a piece. We can put him here, and he's going to be good for us, that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, that's literally exactly what it was. This is completely different signal from the Lions. It's a signal from the Patriots saying, okay, we're going to the Super Bowl this year. It's going to happen again, and that's why we're picking Mohamed Sanu. We know the Falcons are absolutely awful for no reason. We're going to show them how you're supposed to use Mohamed Sanu, and we're going to make the Super Bowl. That's what they're saying right now. That is exactly what they did. And that's why they gave up such a high pick for Mohamed Sanu. You might think, second-round pick, the man's kind of old and he's not the best. Why the hell are you giving up a second-round pick? Because you think the second-round pick's bringing you another ring. That's the whole reason. Yep.
And, I mean, the Patriots, like, they're not afraid to go out and, make high trades for guys who they think, Belichick, he will work with guys who aren't that great. But when it comes to guys who are great, he also will take a risk on them. Like you see, he took a risk with Moss, it turned out. And if the AB thing could have been, I think he would have almost been leading the league in touchdowns and receiving yards right now, because Belichick just loves guys. Like, he was willing to give up a first-round pick for AB when he was on the Steelers, but the Steelers didn't want to trade him to the Patriots. So, I mean, it's just Belichick's a guy who most times talent doesn't matter, but when it comes to certain guys that are going to fit the way that a Sanu or an AB or a Randy Moss will, then he'll take a chance on him. And I think we're seeing a situation where we're taking a chance on a guy who's going to make a difference in that offense, clearly.
Yeah, exactly. And Belichick, it's more about character and it's about talent. And I know it sounds funny because they took in AB, but they were hoping that the character of his work ethic would show out more than his character of,
and honestly,
nonsense.
It did, like, he was trying, like,
for a little bit,
until the whole text message thing. Like, he didn't post anything on social media the whole week he was with the Patriots, and then as soon as he got cut, he was back to being old AB. Like,
exactly.
But I mean, while he was there, Brady had him under control. Like, even Brady said he didn't agree with the fact that they released him. So I mean, it's just one of those things, man.
But we're looking at another Patriots Super Bowl run probably from them.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate. I really hope someone can knock them out because they're going to the playoffs. But I hope someone can eliminate them. It's one game. All you need to do is win one.
Yep. But just going to the last trade, and I think this one, this is the biggest one, and we knew it was coming. So the Broncos traded Emmanuel Sanders. We knew it was coming. He wanted to leave. And he goes to the 49ers, who is the other undefeated team in the NFL right now. And, David, I'll let you start because I have just something small to say.
Oh,
David,
about my feelings on this?
Yeah.
Well, my feelings are, wow, Jimmy just got more help. Dante Pettis and Goodwin were were his two receivers. Not bad. And George Kittle was honestly their number one threat. But it's not. It's good. George Kittle is great, but the two receivers are not bad, but they're not great. And Emmanuel Sanders has been great before. He's just good now. But he's good enough. He knows how to make the separation. He honestly almost won the Broncos 2 games this season. They should have won. Their defense didn't just completely break down with like a minute left both times. But this helps out the Niners so much in the air where they really didn't have as much success. I mean, they opened up their air through their ground game. So I think it's a great move for the Niners. And I said this on Cuesta Dos or Cuesta Uno, I guess, but their style of play is similar to the Patriots. They just don't have the same passing game as them. So we're going to see how good the Niners can be with that trade.
Yep. I think, a lot of same things you said. I think Sanders he's that guy, that type of receiver that's just like, not in size and like actual playing ability, like style, but ability-wise, he's like that, wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, that like 1.5. Depending on the team he's on, he'll either be a 1 or a 2. Yeah. So, but he's clearly going to be the 1 in San Francisco. He's going to be, Kittle's the number 1 option, but he's the best receiver on the team. So I think that just helps, it'll open up the run game a little more for him just because that run game's ridiculous there. But I think it kind of helps them not be so one-dimensional because, if right now their O-line is just mauling guys. And when you got 2 yards, you got to guarantee 2 yards if you – if they ran the ball every play, they would have 3 to 4 yards because the O-line has the D-line 2-3 yards off the ball right away. So that's how dominant this run game is in San Francisco. But if you can just get Jimmy G a little more, a guy who can kind of take the top off the defense, get down the field, make guys account for him more. Pettis is going to be open more. Kittle's going to have a field day now because they're going to have to account for the speed of Sanders now. Mm-hmm. And, and Goodwin's still there too. So, it just makes that offense a little more, gives them another dimension. I think it's going to help them out a lot. It should help them out a lot.
Yeah, and if they're ever in a close game, Emmanuel Sanders is incredibly clutch.
Yeah.
We're talking about clutch performers. Emmanuel Sanders is up there, man. You may not think of it at first, but you'll watch the guy at the end of games if they're close. If the game is close, he's making plays. He doesn't drop the ball. He's making those plays.
Yep. He was, he's reliable for Ben when he was in Pittsburgh, and then he went and did the same thing for the little bit of time he was with Peyton, and then with the, QB roulette in Denver. He tried. So.
Yeah, it was a tough time for him, but he made it work. He still had good games.
Yep.
All right, but now on to something a little more funny. I saw a little bit about this, Rob, but you know more about this here. Go ahead.
Yeah, so what happens is, so Odell Beckham Jr., he got fined again. He got fined $14,000 for not covering his knees with his pants. Now this, so everybody knows, or a lot of people know, he was fined for wearing a watch when he played. It was a Richard Mille watch, very expensive watch. And he kind of was like, oh, why do people, people just want, why can't I wear a watch, blah, blah, blah. And NFL has a hard objects, like code or whatever, some rule against it. And that one, it was kind of like, well, Dale, you posted about, wearing a $20,000 watch or something. So it was like, he kind of asked for it. But this one, David, this one right here, there are so many players in the NFL who do not wear their pants below their knees. And honestly, this is like a problem with all throughout all of like, I get it. Okay. I get it. You want to keep people safe, you want to put those knee pads do absolutely nothing. Like speaking from as a collegiate athlete, as a football player, I've literally seen guys, there used to be these big, huge rectangular knee pads, and dudes like they cut them now, or there's these ones that they sell, in Dick's and everything, and they're so small now. Like these knee pads are doing absolutely nothing.
Well, yeah, so you barely want to wear them.
Yeah, because it's gonna, if you're wearing pants over your knees, you're not gonna be able to run as freely. Look at soccer players; they literally wear shorts that go halfway up their thighs because it just helps. You have more.
Well, it messes with your form. I only played high school football, but I hated the thigh pads and everything because it ruined your form. It completely. I remember I just didn't wear them. I just said screw it. I cannot wear these because they ruin my form of running. I can't get to my top speed like this.
And on top of that, like you even see so many guys now, like those pants that they're wearing. You'll see, first off, knee pads are, smaller than most guys' palms, honestly. Yeah. And then you got, like, the thigh pads they wear. They don't even wear, like, there's no padding. It's just a plate. They literally just put a plate on there, like the hard shell on the inside of the thigh pad on. It's just like, these guys, especially when you're a receiver, that pad's not going to protect anything if it's over your knee. And my thing is, if the NFL is giving out $14,000 fines, fine every skill player in the NFL, please. Because, like, the last time it was Odell kind of being Odell and doing his own thing, and yeah, they didn't have to fine him, but I get it. This time, it's like, come on now. Like, you can literally watch a game, and I guarantee you, out of the 22 guys on the field at any given time, at least 12 of them do not have almost every single player is not going to have his knee pads covering his knees or having anything that would even relatively protect him. I mean, you look at Deshaun Watson, this guy literally wears his pants like he has his knee pads like way over his knee, at least like 6, 7. It's ridiculous, David. That just doesn't make sense.
It's weird. It honestly, it almost seems like a targeted kind of harassment thing now that the NFL is doing, especially with Odell. Because I mean, he's building a case for it at this point. Like every time they do it, he brings it up and he's building a case for it. He's like, what the hell is going on here? I mean, yeah, you can say he was a bit of a diva, but whatever. Every wide receiver is. And And honestly, this whole thing, like, listen, I get it's for safety, but the player is making this choice, this complete choice. I wouldn't be surprised if it's in your contract that they're liable for their own choices of this matter.
Yeah.
So, like, I get it's for safety, but they are making this choice to either not have the knee pad on or have it very small in order to optimize their play style and optimize their playing. So if anything happens to them, honestly, it's off your hands at that point because that's their choice. Yeah, I mean, you have to have in the contract, but I assume you do NFL. You're usually pretty buttoned up about those things.
Yeah.
So, like, that is their why are you finding the man? Like, it's $14,000. He's making much. Like, it's not a lot to him, but still, it's like a message. Like, what are you doing, man?
And I could understand if it was something where it's like, oh, you refuse to wear a certain helmet, or like your shoulder pads aren't like, up to a certain standard or something. Something that's actually actually going to make a difference in a football game. Or even if he was like, wearing some crazy colored like cleat or something like that. Like, that's different. This is something where there's the rule itself is just pointless. Like, playing football, being a player, like, yes, it's a thing that people do because they want to look a certain way too, but also there's a functional reason why people do this, and it is not going to hurt. I mean, it just doesn't make a difference. It's just, it makes no difference. They're not going to be safer because they wear their pad, like, the knee pad over their actual knee, so. But that just kind of bothered me. I was, yes, there's some bias because I don't like people picking on Odell, but there's some merit behind this one.
I completely get where you're coming from. The NFL is very weird sometimes with their fines and their officiating. I know I ranted a lot about that on my show, but anyway, we're moving on from the NFL. And we're going to now move on to the NBA. And actually, you're making me miss the Nets game tonight right now.
Yeah,
it just started. We're going to talk about New York basketball. New York basketball meaning the Brooklyn Nets and the not as talented New York Knicks.
Yeah, unfortunately, though.
So I want to ask you first, your thoughts on New York basketball this season. What are you expecting from both teams? Of course, you can start off with your Knicks. But what are you expecting?
Well, just like, in general, I honestly believe that, like, players do not want to deal with what you have to deal with being on the Knicks. Like, there's just so much you have to, like, I mean, first off, ownership isn't always going to be an issue. Then you're going to be, every day they're going to rip you for this or rip you for that. And, like, Kyrie said it. He said, I think people, I think now MSG is starting to not – I mean, it's still the Mecca, it's still MSG, but it doesn't have that same weight that it held before, like – and if you could go to Brooklyn to a better team, what Kyrie and KD did makes a whole lot of sense because it's a better team. You don't have the management. You don't have to deal with as much spotlight because you're not there. And, winning's great, but if something goes wrong, immediately everything's your fault. Like, I completely understand why players might want to do this, why it's more attractive to go to Brooklyn and not be with the Knicks, because it's just so hard to be a human being. And, I mean, because I was thinking about this today, David. The Knicks ruined Carmelo. Literally 100%. Ruined him. Like, literally. And I'm like, who would want to come here? If I'm KD or if I'm Kyrie, right? Why do I want to come somewhere that if I don't win with management that is not going to give you what you need to win because they didn't do it to Carmelo, then you're literally going to come here and kill your career. New York is you will go in the Garden every night. You will win 20 games and your career will be killed. And Kyrie had already experienced some nonsense in Boston, so he was ready to just move on from that and go to somewhere, where he felt like he was going to be another legitimate superstar, and he's going to be able to do his own thing, kind of. So I think the whole New York basketball as a whole right now, leaning towards the Nets right now, and I hate to say it, but it's just the truth, man. I mean, the Knicks, it sucks to be a Knick. It honestly does. To be a superstar in New York right now is awful. Like,
Okay, I'm gonna correct you there. New York basketball isn't leaning on the Nets right now; it's laying on the Nets.
yeah,
But to give some kudos to the Knicks, I feel like it was more of the fans that hyped it up. I mean, Dolan doesn't help, but it was more the fans that hyped up. The Kyrie, KD, Zion, they're all going to come this season. We're going to be great again. And, like, that was insane. Like, for anyone, for literally anyone. Lakers fans sound stupid when they say that too. I mean, they got LeBron and AD, but still, it's weird. Stop it. Like, stop trying to think you're just going to get these guys. They have their own decisions to make. But I got to give kudos to the Knicks because, they got like 15 power forwards, but they did get some good players, and they look like they're trying to rebuild. They're trying to do it the slow way, the way the Nets did it to get these players. And they're trying to make something there. They're trying to make a culture. They're trying to be a long-term team. And I hope they can do it. A rival in New York would be great. I really do hope they can do it. But on to my Nets. My Nets are looking pretty good. I mean, we were a playoff team last year. We were a playoff team last year, and we lost a couple. We lost a couple key assets. D'Lo, the biggest one. We lost Jared Dudley, and I know you might think, "Oh, Jared Dudley, the man's like 70,000 years old, and
he's solid.
He's a very good veteran presence. The man is an extremely good veteran presence. We lost Rondé Hollis-Jefferson, who's a great defender. He's part of the huge 25-point King comeback, and we lost Ed Davis as well, who was just a glass eater. But we brought on Kyrie. We brought on KD, who's not going to play this season, but that's fine because he's going to play next season. And we brought on DeAndre Jordan. We brought on Torian Prince. We brought on David Nwaba. We brought a lot of different people there, and all of our young players are just getting better. Karis LeVert, I'm telling you right now, he's going to be a star in the league this year if he doesn't get hurt. He's 100% going to be he's good. He's going to be a star in the league. So the Nets' outlook for the season is very good. The Knicks, I really think they can be better than what they were. They're 100% better than what they were last year. But a lot of people are projecting for them as well. I feel like because Fizz is a good coach. He's a good coach. He can get things out of his younger guys. And I feel like you got Julius Randle. He's a good player. I don't know why people want to hate on
He'll be 20 and 10. He'll be 20 and 10 every game.
He's a good player. And they got a lot of people that can help out their younger guys. And the Knicks should be a much better team this year. In fact, I don't know why. My brother thinks that they can possibly make the playoffs. I don't see that. But But it looks good when you're trying to build something and you're trying to win. That is exactly what the Nets did. That's the reason why KD and Kyrie want to come here. Let's not forget, KD in an interview recently said the Knicks aren't cool to people of like our age, people that aren't old. They aren't really cool
at all.
And because they haven't won. And it's unfortunate to say for the Mecca of basketball, but you haven't won. The Mecca is the Staples Center right now, even though they've lost recently.
Honestly,
that's the Mecca of basketball. You need to build yourself again. You need to become the Mecca again. Because right now you're losing out to Brooklyn, and that doesn't look good, especially after Brooklyn gave literally everything to the Boston Celtics for aging superstars and trying to win the championship.
Yeah.
So, but all in all, I think New York basketball is going to be all right as long as the Knicks never listen to Dolan. I know Dolan said he's trying to keep his hands off of it. He better be saying the truth. Never listen to Dolan. Keep Dolan on the Rangers or doing whatever else with his band. Never listen to the man. Do what you need to do for basketball and grow the team, make the culture a good one, and you'll find people coming there. I don't know about this little Giannis rumor for next year. That's already starting, and I don't like hearing it because it's nonsense to think. Yeah, it's nonsense to think you're going to get these big-name free agents for basically no reason. I'm sorry, basically no reason.
Yeah, and honestly, I was one of the Knicks fans screaming Zion, KD, and Kyrie, and like.
Oh yeah, I know you were. Oh no, I 100%
know you were. when you literally are like watching a team that's so bad, I feel like you almost have no choice but to like think these things. But like the reality of the situation is what KD said, what Kyrie said. It's just not the Knicks aren't who they were. They're not Ewing and they're not Starks Knicks anymore. Like this is, Oakley. It's like that's just not who we are anymore. They're a team that killed Carmelo Anthony. That's who the Knicks are right now, and it's a team with bad ownership. Oakley's fighting in the garden. It's just there's so many bad things around the Knicks right now. It's just not that situation. But David, like you said, there's a lot of good things that could come out of this year. Like I think Frank Nidolinka, he's still a work in progress. Alonzo Trier, and
they're not sure about him. Trier's good though.
He could add depth, but Trier's pretty good. He's a pretty good a pretty good role player. We got to see what RJ gives us. If RJ can turn into something special, then we don't have a bad three players. They're not a big three.
Don't forget. I mean, you hope Kevin Knox progresses, but don't forget about Mitchell Robinson.
That's what I was going to say. That's
the man's dominant.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry.
Mitchell. No, I was going to say RJ. Mitchell Robinson, and then Julius Randle. Just those three right now. And Kevin Knox is a very solid starter that we're going to have, too. I'm pretty sure he was Rookie of the Month twice last year? I think he won Rookie of the Month twice. But either way, you got a solid four to, 6 guys on our team that are going to be able to contribute. It's just a matter of obviously staying healthy. And I already saw Mitchell Robinson's going to be out tonight when the game starts in about 45 minutes. But we have young talent, and like you said, the same way the Nets built their team back up from that bad trade with Pierce and KG.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to do the same thing.
Yeah, instead of 6 feet, we were like 12 feet in the grave. We were 12 feet in the grave, and I don't know how the hell we did it this soon that we came back.
Go ahead, Dave. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was
going to say that I think that the only thing that saved the Knicks from being in the hole that the Nets were in is because we had Porzingis. That was Phil Jackson made that pick, and it was a great pick because he's the only thing that kind of kept us in the mix. Oh, well, someone's going to want to play with KP. What is KP going to do? And we got some capital back from him, so it's not the worst thing, but it's just not good though. It's not good right now, but there's a lot of potential. And like you said with Alex and the whole playoffs thing, I don't think we'll be in the playoffs, but I think there's potential to be 500 or better for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Now I'm going to throw this in here. I know this wasn't on our itinerary, Rob, but I think you can think of this. Okay. I want your favorites. Just two, just one from each, from the Western and Eastern. Your favorites to win the title right now, and sleepers to maybe get in a low seed of the playoffs. I can start off, and I can let you think for a little bit if you want.
Okay, yeah. Give me a second.
So right now, my favorite for the Eastern Conference is the Bucks. The Bucks are my favorite right now. They're still the same team from last year. The 76ers are high on that for me as well, but we don't know exactly what they're going to be. They have a ton of height. They have a lot of ability. Ben Simmons hitting a 3 in preseason made everyone go insane, including me. Because that man can be 100 times better than he is hitting threes, even somewhat at a clip. But still, it's the Bucks for me. You have the former MVP, even though I think James Harden should have been MVP, but whatever. You have the former MVP. You have you have a complete team there that had a chance to go on to the championship anyway. I think they make it this year, and I think they show up. On the Western Conference side, I know this kind of seems like front running, but I got to go with the Lakers, and there's one reason why I got to go with the Lakers. Because LeBron is not going to let it happen. He's not going to sit. If he's healthy the whole year, he's not going to let them not get to the finals. AD could be out, and he's still going to will them to the finals. I know. Kawhi and PG on the Clippers. Portland's a complete team. Denver, Utah's a complete team. There is a lot of great talent out in the West and a lot of great teams. But unfortunately, what LeBron does whenever he gets into the playoffs is beats those great teams, no matter who he has on them. And the only people that could stop him were the damn Warriors and the Mavericks once. The Mavericks once when the Heat weren't able to get together for some reason. But the Warriors, a stacked 73-9 win team. Well, no, 73-9 win, loss, sorry. But a stacked team are the only teams really that beat him in the finals. The man gets it done in the playoffs. You can say as much as you want about him not wanting in the big time, whatever. You can say whatever you want. The man gets it done. 3-6, why would you care? He got to the finals 9 times in a row. Who the hell would ever do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now on to my sleepers. For the Eastern Conference, my sleeper to get in a lower seed is actually going to be the Raptors. Now, I know that's weird that they're lowest seed, but the Raptors
Yep.
yeah, I know it's weird at a lower seed, but I feel like they're going to have a tough time without Kawhi, even though I know I talked about him being a complete team on the Cuesta Dos episode, but they're going to have a very tough time without Kawhi. Nick Nurse is going to need to do a lot. They just went into OT with the Pelicans. And the Pelicans are a young team that just got trades done, and they're not a complete team right now. So they're going to find their way in. Siakam, Van Vliet, Lowry, Gasol, Ibaka, they're all gonna play well. They're gonna find their way in. They may be able to make some noise. I don't know how much. Maybe they can win a series, but they're right now my sleeper to get in, because the Eastern Conference as well that's good. That's a tough conference right now.
Yeah,
so we'll see. We'll see. But they're my Eastern Conference sleepers to maybe make some noise and get in at a lower seed. My Western Conference is going to be the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks, if they can get that working with Luka and Porzingis, everyone else there,
yep.
I mean, every team is basically a duo now. That's a terrifying duo over there. That is a very scary duo. The Euro Ballers can do a hell of a whole lot. I mean, they have Boban over there. They have a lot of people that Boban just gives you height, and for some reason, the man can make like 18 footers.
He's efficient too.
Exactly. The Mavs can be a very good team and a pretty scary team out in the West. And I think we have to see it play out, but they could really grow into something that is challenging in the playoffs and could maybe take a series off a pretty good squad.
Yep. I think I agree. And I'll just go the opposite way that you went. And so with the sleepers, I'm going, I'm still going them. Honestly, David, the Pelicans, I think that this team with these young guys, they're young, but they're not so young that they don't have any experience. These guys, I think that the Pelicans are going to be able to make some noise. I think they'll be able to get that 7-8 seed probably in the West. And, I like the young talent. I think Zion's going to be really good when he comes back. Hopefully he makes like a good recovery, and I think they'll definitely have a shot because they can do it without him. You add him, they're just going to get better. I don't think there's any team that you couldn't plug and play a guy as athletic as Zion and not make them a better team.
Okay, I don't want to cut you off too much, but the Pelicans were right there with the Mavs. I just chose the Mavs because I like their
yeah.
Deal. But
yeah, that's what. And honestly, I was just like that. That was one where I honestly forgot about the whole Mavs, aspect. David, they might end up being like a 6 seed or like a 5. Like,
but that all depends on how the season goes, and think about the long term too. Jesus. But anyway, continue.
Yeah. So in the East, my sleeper in the East, David, it's the East is just so bad, David. But I'll take the Raptors, and honestly, like you said, the defending champs and everything, but they're not the same team without Kawhi. No. Like Kyle Lowry's really not a superstar, honestly. Like I don't know what he's not who he was.
He's a regular season star. That's what he is.
Yeah, that's kind of what it comes down. He'll give you those special performances, but I mean, he was like 4 for 15 last night, bro. Like he's just not. Yeah. I don't know. He's very okay, and Siakam's probably their best player in all.
100%. They gave him the max for a reason.
Yeah, he's good. Siakam, I don't know what. It was only the second half of the season last year we really turned it on, but hey, you know what? It is what it is. David, you still there? Yeah. Okay. I didn't know if you were still.
No. I'm just listening, man. Right. Don't want to cut you off.
All right, no. Then we're go back to the West. We'll go to the West. My pick in the West, David. I agree with you with the LeBron thing, and just so honestly, I'm gonna pick this team just so I can talk about my guy. All right. And honestly, I went out there and saw them in person this past year, and I think that I have a little bias towards them, but go Zers, David. Go Zers, David. Portland is the real deal. Like, I mean, this guy CJ is going to have a great season. Damian Lillard is he's easily top 2 point guards in the NBA. No, I don't want to hear. No, he's better than Steph. And I'll tell you why he's better than Steph, David. I'm a big Steph Curry guy. He's better than Steph because he offers more as far as I honestly believe that he can facilitate an offense better than Steph can because he's more of a physical guy. He'll get to the rim. Steph's creative, but I don't think Steph has that same one-on-one ability, like actually going to the rim as aggressive as a player as Dame is, And Dame, He can shoot too, man. He's one of the best 3-point shooters in the league
He's
too.
great.
So you can't, and I think Hassan Whiteside makes that team better. They still got Zach Collins. They got a lot of guys who can make a difference on that team. So I think that they're gonna. I mean, this is okay. They're probably gonna be the West is tough. The West,
okay, yeah.
You got a lot of good teams out there.
But I completely understand your pick. I mean, think about it. If Yusuf Nurkic doesn't go down in that game last year against our Nets, my Nets actually, if Yusuf Nurkic doesn't go down, it may be a completely different playoff. He's a great down low guy.
And honestly, like it's tough to make this call because David, like Bron is Bron, and honestly,
exactly.
like
I can't go against the guy.
If I'm putting my money on it, I'm taking the Lakers, and the Clippers won last night, but and the Clippers are really good too. That's gonna be another team. It's gonna be hard for Portland to get by, but it's just I'm just going with the Blazers. A little biased there, but is what it is.
Dude, believe me, I completely. You could pick almost any of the teams I mentioned in the West when I was first going off about it, and I'll completely understand the reason that you picked them.
Yeah, it's that good. It's that good of a situation. Yeah. And in the East, my favorite. I hate to do it because I think I just dislike them because of the fact that James Harden wasn't the MVP this past year. But the Bucks, I'm going with the Bucks, man. I mean, they're just it's just one of those situations where you can't deny a team. They kept Middleton. Obviously, they still have the reigning MVP. So as much as I want to pick the 76ers, and they're good. I think it'll be them in the final. It'll be them two in the final. Minus, I think the Nets could take it from the 76ers in the right situation.
It depends on how the season comes together and how Karras develops and everything else. But that's neither here nor there.
Definitely possible. But I think I'm gonna go with the Bucks though. I'm gonna go with the Bucks. I mean, honestly, God's honest truth. I hope the Nets get there. I hope it's either Nets, Lakers.
Dude, I hope they do too.
Would be Nets Blazers because I would obviously I'm not going to root for the Nets. I refuse. But I'm going to root for them to get there though. I'd rather them be there than the 76ers and I'd rather them be there than the Bucks. But once they play the Blazers, then I'm going for the Blazers. I'm going for Dame. So, but yeah, that's my pick though, David. That's what I got.
Okay, I like it. I like it, Robbie. You know what? I felt bad going with the Lakers. I just can't go against LeBron.
I understand. Bron's
nine times in a row. 9 times in a damn row. That is
good.
ridiculous.
And now he has, another top 5 player in the NBA. Like, it's hard to imagine you got, the number 1 player in either 3, 4, or 5, wherever you want to put Anthony Davis,
Oh,
So,
yeah.
It's hard to go against that team, man. So, it's just.
Yeah. So, but I very much enjoy your picks. In fact, Portland's a great pick. I mean,
I just love them, David. I love them as a team. Like they got this thing with the floor now. It's like this vintage Portland floor, bro. It's
Rip City.
Great, bro.
Rip City. It's a great time.
And the Moda Center is it's great, David. If you get the chance, you gotta go.
Next time I'm out in Portland, Oregon. Next time I'm out, just visiting, just visiting, just taking a trek. Don't worry, I'll go stop in. I'll say hi. I'll maybe go down to center court. Dude, I can't even get into Barclays right now.
David, one day we'll do it. One day it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna show you. It's gonna be great, David. I'm telling you, it's crazy, and it was packed. David. It was a great experience. Yeah, right. David, I think I just missed rooting for a winning basketball team. Maybe because I was rooting the Knicks. They got blown out 3 years ago. David, it's just not fun. It's just not fun. I watch a buzzer beater when the Knicks.
When we went to go see them play the Sixers, and TJ McConnell hit a fadeaway for a buzzer beater win.
I have a phobia of basketball games at the moment because of the Knicks. So it was good to root for a team. I was wearing a Sonics jersey. I didn't have to think about the Knicks. There was just Damian Lillard, and they blew the Suns out, and it was packed. People going crazy. It was great, David. It was great.
Oh, I can imagine. Okay, all right. Now that we got all that out of our system, one more thing I want to say before we go out. Hashtag save our Sonics, since you brought up the Sonic shirt.
Yeah.
The Seattle Sonics coming back would be absolutely amazing. But I hope you all enjoyed this show. Obviously, Rob and I had a bunch of fun with it at the end here.
Great time.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully the sound quality is nice. I know Rob's on his phone right now, but apparently it sounds better than his MacBook.
No worries. We'll see.
Yeah. If you want to interact with me at all on Twitter, I don't remember what my Twitter actually is, but on Instagram, I am Cuesta Cola. Rob, how can they contact you?
You can find me on Instagram at RepJR, on Twitter at Rob Planner Jr. And that's what I got.
All right. And if you want to interact with Sports Opinions Podcast or Sports Opinions Umbrella at all, just go in and at Sports Opinion 30. Yeah, we forgot the S because we're a little dumb. But yeah, just Sports Opinion 30. And we'll always reply. We're always around. So I hope everyone had a good time. I hope everyone listened to the end. Please give us a rating. You can listen anywhere a podcast is given out. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.